Hello there and welcome. This is the GCS2 seeding reveal video. I've been very excited about this for a while now. I've been doing it since entries closed on 31st of May. And to be honest, this whole seeding project's been going on in the background since players started playing for GCS2. It's been my job as a tournament organizer and a seeding nerd. I just love this stuff. I absolutely love gauging who the best players are, how they're playing, how much they're training, how much they're strategizing, and having a good idea of who might win GCS2. Well, first and foremost, who might qualify. We've got 4 huge qualifying events. They're all starting in just under 2 weeks, and I'm excited. I know you guys are as well. I can feel the hype and the anticipation building in this community. So this video is going to go through the seeds themselves, and how it was calculated, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about what happens next. So it's all very exciting, and I think we should get started, don't you? There have been 51 successful entries into GCS2. That are players that have proven that they are willing and able to travel to England in September, and they have the ranks and the ability to play in a high-level Company of Heroes tournament. That said, the entries were allowed up until Pompey and GB Pirates. These two guys embody the lowest level of a player able to play in this tournament. They're around rank 250, and the reason it was lowered to these two guys is because they are huge benefactors to GCS2 itself. I mean, GCS2 now has a total of $11,400, and it's all thanks to a lot of people watching this very video, but these two players themselves. And that's why they were the lowest level that we allowed entries up until, to allow these two guys in as a mark of respect. So this is the seeds. This is where it starts off. It starts off with GB, Pirate, and Pompey, and the players, in theory, get better from here. Now, all of these ranks you're going to see up until rank 26 are entirely based on auto match ladder ranking. The average best of your top Axis and top allies rank. So let's go through the ranks from here. We've got a few players. You'll note got a few Twitch personalities like the Pope. You've got returning legends like Hulk Smash and Vindicarex. Very excited that we've got this Co 1 legend and this Co 2 legend. Hulk Smash and Vindicarex have both entered GCS2 qualifying. We've also got Brickman, a huge benefactor to GCS2. He's travelling over with his wife from Japan, of all places, in September, and he wants his chance to compete. Nozlu, a legend of Company of Heroes past. Zarok, the crazy Maxim player. Spanky, a good friend of mine. Red Wings, a fantastic player. And Twisted Tootsie. You'll notice that Twisted Tootsie has the rank 32 in the seeding. This doesn't mean that everybody below him isn't going to get a chance to play in the 32-player qualification events. No, this list embodies everybody that has the chance to check in on the day. All of these players are eligible to check in on the day, and there will be a 32-player cutoff on the day. So you can imagine a 35 rank has a very good chance of ending up within the 32 players in the tournament. Everybody that checks in and misses out on the 32-player cutoff will go into a wildcard playoff event. So all the players in this list have absolutely the chance to play in GCS2, because even if they don't make the cutoff, they will be in a wildcard playoff. But let's carry on, because it starts to get very exciting as we start to reveal some of the top players involved. You'll notice here we've got Momo for show, Tomikaze. If we go further up, iCab, Siaz, Tobis, Findeed. A mysterious player called Quirits. Never heard of him before, but it'd be interesting to see how he plays. He had high auto match ranks. Creative name, Stefan Beck, The Hooligan. Stuve, Kimbo, Royal Hans, Barton. So you'll notice here that we start to get into the meat of high-ranked players, and you might be wondering how they were assessed. Well, I'll get into that in a little while. We'll talk about how the players were assessed and how they were seeded after we've gone through them all. We've now got Refero, J for Jet, Theodosios, what a player, Isildur, and your number 10 player, Sidolio. This gets us up into the meat of the top seeds for GCS2, and it's where it starts to get exciting. I'll allow you to just let the gravity of these players settle in, because they're all top players. I mean, Barton's at Sunday Night Fights Season 5 champion, for God's sake. You've got Theodosios, who is considered the #2 German player in the world. Sidolio, who, despite his kind of relaxed demeanour, is a fierce competitor and capable of beating the best in the world on his day. And now let's reveal the #9 player with a very crappy clicking mechanism. Talisman from Finland, of course. This guy is a former ESL runner-up 4 times, and this might finally be his big year. Helping Hands started training a little bit late. He's had a little bit of teething problems in rebuilding the Helping Hands war machine. But when that war machine gets rolling, this guy could be GCS2 champion. #7 seed, Vamos, it's Jesulin, the most successful Company of Heroes 2 tournament player of all time. This guy has been training this year, unlike last year, and because of that, rightfully regains a top seeding space. #6 is Aimstrong, the most successful Company of Heroes 1 tournament player. He's now still playing all these years later. The difference being this year, he can now fully claim he is a Company of Heroes 2 player at heart. He's learnt the game properly. He's trained properly. He is going to be playing factions and strategies that embody Company of Heroes 2 meta, and that now makes him a far more dangerous competitor in many people's minds. He's had some huge streaks in auto match and been able to claim top auto match placings once more, giving him #6 seed. #5 is Von Asten. Von Asten is the young, hopeful Company of Heroes 2 player. This guy has trained harder than anybody and has a huge burning desire to prove himself on a tournament stage. He's heavily and widely respected by his peers, and this could be his moment to claim his destiny. #4 seed is Nagano. The Russian heavyweight finally gets his chance to compete in one of these huge live event tournaments. The past few tournaments since OCF onwards have all had this emphasis on live events. Everything after ESL, rather. You've had Warpaint Championships and GCS1. Both had a focus on the live event. Nagano couldn't compete in the Warpaint Championship final, unfortunately, and Jesulin took his space, and of course couldn't even sign up for GCS1 because, admittedly, at the time, he didn't even have his passport updated. I can confirm this guy now has his passport on the way, and we will work with him to get his visa organised so he can travel to England and can compete to claim his rightful claim to being the champion of Company of Heroes 2. #3 seed, Von Ivan, the master of chaos, the ultimate in the tank rush, balls to the wall strategy that you top players just can't defend against. But this year we see more of a transition with Von Ivan. He has all of that incredible aggressive play, but he's also a strategic veteran. This guy has a very good understanding of this game. He has a very firm self-belief, and this could be his big year where he wins a huge major title. #2 seed, is it going to be Lovenest? Is it going to be Devem? Due to Lovenest's victory in Grand Championship Series 1, Devem takes #2 seed. This guy is looking fierce. He's looking absolutely scary. He is on blistering form right now. His auto match ranks are out of this world. And, I mean, he's the only player that needs a scroll bar on his tournament successes. I'm sure that my face is in the way, but once we scroll up to Lovenest now, because, you know, there's no suspense anymore, you can see that Devem is the only player with a scroll bar in his tournament successes, which is just crazy. And we don't need to say much more about him. #1 seed, of course, rightfully, respectably, and as a mark of tradition, is Lovenest. And this guy deserves to be #1 seed. He showed everybody that he was the best player in the world this time last year when he beat Devem 4-0. He had started training a little late, but he returned to form just in time to claim #1 seed with some huge auto match victories, streaks, and some great scrim performances. So there's your seeds. I'll now go into a little bit of how they're calculated, so if you're not interested in the numbers, it's now time to tune out, but I'm sure a lot of you will be. You'll find the link to this spreadsheet in the description of the YouTube video and at the top of the player list. So the system was as thus. The top 8 seeds were decided by myself after extensive studying, weighing up all options, all configurations. I'd looked into their past history, their current automatch form, and I watched them play, quite frankly. So it's based on me as organizer, my best job on trying to figure out where the players lie, and there you go, there's the top 8 seeds. Now, the next seeds, all the middle players, I call them. This is from seed 9 to 26. We took their automatch ranks, we decided 9 to 26, and then a panel of experts was assembled. Referees such as Stern Panther, Currahy, top casters like Tightrope and Imperial Dane, and also the top 4 seeds. Now, the reason these guys were chosen is the referees, of course, they are very impartial, and it's their job to be impartial, so their experience and opinions mattered quite a lot. Those 2 casters in particular, Tightrope and Imperial Dane, they embody different ways of thinking about the game, but they have watched all the top players play for the past few years. They've been involved in tournaments, and they're the 2 casters I trust most with their opinion. In the 4 top seeds, Loveness, Nagano, Devem, and Von Ivan, their opinions matters because it doesn't really matter to them, the middle players, because they will play due to seeding the lowest ranked players. So their opinion, having played all these players before, matters a lot and can be judged to be more impartial than any other player. So that's how these middle ranks were decided. It was like an average methodology. And then the low rank players all decided based on auto match only. And the reason we used auto match only for this was because it had to be impartial, because obviously with cut-offs involved, you know, the 32-player cut-off, etc., I didn't want any player to claim that they lost out due to people's opinions of them, which actually makes it quite exciting. This means that we have players such as Momo for Show, who's got a surprisingly low seed, Red Wings, Hulk Smash, Vindicator X, all these players could be surprise packages and have a low seed to upset top players, which in my opinion gives a little bit more excitability about the seeding. It gives us some kind of degree of a wildcard factor that was missing from GCS1, and with it being a 4-tournament process, I feel comfortable enough to let that happen. Now, on to some notable missing players. Dave is joining the United States military. Good luck, Dave. He's got boot camp soon, and you know, all of us give our respect, luck, and best wishes for the future, Dave. Jove couldn't leave the army in time. If he leaves soon, we might consider a wild card entry option if he can prove he can travel, but other than that, it looks like he's missed out again. And in any other player that did think they signed up and isn't on this list, you were notified. We needed your travel documentation to prove you could travel. It is a tournament in England at the end of the day. And a lot of people just, I presume, forgot to fill out their information, which is a shame. But I'm very, very happy with the sign-ups we've had. And I'm very, very confident that GCS will be a huge event and the benefactors will be rewarded with their patronage. Sorry, for their patronage with this amazing event. I'm very excited about it. There will be some seeding adjustments after the second tournament, most likely. The second qualification tournament will have a batch of adjusting the seeds based on people's performance. The next step from here. So in 13 days, we're going to have the first qualification event, Barbarossa. But in about 7 days, there may be an opportunity to try out the tournament engine Yan 252 is currently building. Now, this tournament engine is going to be awesome. It's going to be like an ESL-style system, but obviously all coded by Yan and purpose-built for Code 2. It'll take elements of the battle planner that Kvezar built on last year, like the theory behind it, of having this, but it'll all be in-house to the GCS2.org website, which will make it very efficient for the players to use and really good for the people watching, because they'll be able to see any game where they're up to, and the brackets will all be updated in real time. So we may need some beta testers this time next week to help test out those features. And in the meantime, obviously, everybody get training, get preparing, and build up your stamina, your tactical expertise, and your strategies in time for this first qualification event. I've been extremely happy with how things have gone so far. Thanks once again for donating. Thanks to all the players for signing up and being prepared to travel to England in September. And I'll see you on the battlefield. And once again, I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure you are too. Goodbye for now.